Okay, so how did India benefit from global liquidity, or has it benefited at all, right? So let's see what's happening to India. Now this is a chart which tells you about capital flows into EM economies, emerging economies, and basically total capital flows is about $1.2 trillion expected in 2016. Out of that, emerging Asia accounts for the largest percentage of global capital flows, because it is the largest. If you take China, which includes China, right? So it is the largest. And then you have emerging Europe, and then you have Latin America and Africa and Middle East, which is very low. So typically Asia will be the largest recipient, and in Asia, China is the largest recipient of EM flows. China accounts for 50% of total EM flows. Okay, so India still has got India accounts for about maybe 10% of total EM flows, and it still has got a long way to go. So we have a very good potential of attracting much more flows going forward. Okay, but last year, in fact, we had put up the same chart in the liquidity workshop. Last year the flows didn't happen. I'll show you, and that's largely because of many global factors which affected flows which affected flows across emerging markets, across risk assets actually. And given this year, given the way markets are rallying after Brexit, then you could see flows continuing to rise very sharply into Indian assets, right? So that's one of the reasons why our currency is doing better, our equities are doing better, our bonds are doing better as well, right? Right, so this is a split between equity and debt capital flows into EM Asia. And this is the chart which shows China accounts for most of the flows. All of you will be able to access our presentations once you go back with your logins to inrbonds.com. So you don't have to really note anything down. But how has flows behaved this year? It's not been very positive. India year to date, this is bonds, right? India year to date bonds is not very good. It's negative actually, right? So it's not been very positive this year. And last year was very high. In fact, 2014-15 was very high. About $20 billion, $27 billion went into bonds. But this year was negative. Then you have Indonesia. Indonesia has received some decent flows, about $6.9 billion. Brazil has received good flows, right? Philippines has been negative, South Korea has been positive, and Thailand has been positive. So to some extent, India has not received its share of flows despite all the hype about us. So maybe some of the regions, we really don't know what the regions could be, but this has been the flows in the debt side of the business. But when it comes to equity flows, again, we are still negative 12 months. Okay, we have improved year to date, $3.8 billion. It was negative before Brexit, so we are seeing flows coming back now. Again, so we have been one of the underperforming countries in terms of flows, capital flows into equity and bonds, if you take the peer group of our other peer groups. So we still potentially have a very strong appetite for flows coming in, and investors too would have a stronger appetite for flows.